So the Cannes Film Festival is almost upon us, and I thought with a couple of weeks to go, I would give you a bit of a pep talk. If you're a filmmaker going over, you've been before, I thought I'd run through a few things that I would do if I was about to go to Cannes. If you're a newbie to Cannes and this is your first year, I'd suggest you watch my Cannes 101 video, which is all about the basics of Cannes, how it's all set up, the marche, all that kind of stuff. Watch that first, then maybe come back to this. But if you've been before and you just want a bit of a pep talk before you go, or you just want to remember all of those things, not forget anything important, then this is the video for you. So I'm going to assume if you've been before, you've already registered, you've got your pass, so that's all sorted. It's a bit late in the day to be worrying about that now, although there are ways you can get a pass, but let's put that to the side for the moment. So the most important thing you need to know if you're heading to the Cannes Film Festival or the Cannes Film Market is, why are you going? So are you going to finance a film? Are you going to sell a film? Are you going to network? Are you going to watch movies? That's the first and most important thing you need to figure out when you're going to Cannes. So once you know why you're going, then you can start to do some research on who else is going to be there. So this will come in really handy when you've listed exactly why you're going to Cannes. Say you're going for film finance, or say you're going to sell your film. You can take a look online, who's going to be there, because they're the people you're going to want to contact before you go, to arrange meetings, or at least know where those people are if they're in the marche, so you can go and reach out and speak to them in person. Once you've done your research, you can then start to set meetings up. I'd write yourself a professional email template that introduces yourself very quickly, what you've got to offer, why it is you want to speak to that person. Part of doing that research means you'll be able to book meetings before you go. Write yourself a template for an introduction, but then do personalize that based on the person you're emailing. So do mention their company, mention why it'd be a good fit, mention why you'd love to chat to them, make it personal, but send those emails out so you can get some meetings booked in before you go to Cannes. Now the next section is all about pitching. If you're not comfortable with pitching, then Cannes going to be uncomfortable for you, but it is a really good place to earn your stripes and get used to pitching, not feeling embarrassed about telling people about your project. If you've done it before, then what you should be doing right now is thinking about a few different length pitches for when you do meet people. The first one would be a 30-second pitch. How can you get across all the information about your film? How can you get people excited within 30 seconds? And this is a really short, concise pitch. It's not a long ramble about the project. It's just nice and punchy. Give people the information. And this might be for interactions you have in the bars, at the screenings, at the networking events, just so that people know who you are and what you do. So get that 30-second pitch done, then move on to your 2-minute pitch. And your 2-minute pitch will kind of flesh things out a little bit. It'll probably talk a lot more about things like tone, the audience, who it's aimed at. And this is probably explaining more about why you should make this film, why this is a great movie that you're thinking about making. I'd also stick to one project. So don't be going over to Cannes pitching 5 projects. You want to be focused, laser focused in on your one project that you're going to be talking to people about. So whether that's one you're financing or you're actually selling, you want to have that one project that you know inside out that you can pitch to people. If you are serious about making a film and you are going over there to pitch, then you should really know the budget for the film. And you should be able to name this budget immediately. So some filmmakers tend to play this game where you change the budget depending on who you're speaking to, in the hopes that if you say the right number, that person's going to want to invest in the film and help you finance the movie. That might work for some, but I'd suggest being super realistic about your budget. Think about what your project is, how much you actually need to make it realistically, and you're also thinking about how much it's going to earn back. And that's the figure you should stick to. And anybody you speak to, that's the figure that you tell them. And you say it, you're able to say it quickly and positively. There's no umming and ahhing, this is the budget for the movie. What that'll do is it'll instill confidence in them that this filmmaker's thought about the project, they know what they're making, and they know it's going to cost this much money. Next up, I consider making a digital press kit. So with things like your trailer, maybe some sort of lookbook about all the kind of style of the film. It's got a log line in it. Maybe it's got like a little mood board. It's got some text in it, but not too much. Maybe it's got your artwork in it. And I'd have this probably on an iPad with me at all times so that I can quickly show people if they're interested in looking at it. You can also email that to them after you've chatted to them so they can take a look at it in more detail when you're not around. A simple thing you could do that's probably going to be beneficial is just double check your IMDB page. Check it's up to date, check all your credits are on there so that when somebody does go to search you, and they might be using the CAN system to search you, but when they search you, that information's all up to date. And just check if you've got a website, there's an easy way to contact you. Something that's a little bit old school that I probably would still do is business cards. I'd get those printed. It is nice having something to actually hand somebody. Yes, they might get lost, but if you can give them a business card, that'll go in their pocket. Hopefully they'll remember it. I know a lot of actors who put a picture of themselves on the back of the business card, so it's easy for you to remember who that person is. In the past, what I've done is I put maybe the poster for the film on one side and my contact details on the other. So if that's specifically you're looking for the person in relation to that movie, or it might be movies you've made in the past. But having something physical you can give somebody after that interaction does come in handy. And another reason you might want business cards is the Wi-Fi might go down. You might not have a good signal. You don't want to be there scrolling on your phone trying to find something to show somebody when you can just hand them a physical business card. And when you get there, I've been in this situation before, it can be quite frustrating when you're over in Cannes, you're in this gorgeous city where it's all about cinema and maybe you haven't got a meeting to go to or a screening, you've not got a party, so that can be quite depressing. So one thing I like to do is set myself a metric for that trip. So think about, okay, during this trip, I'm going to have X amount of meetings, I'm going to go to X amount of parties that you're going to try and get to beforehand, or at least I'm going to go and network on this many occasions, and I'm going to hopefully bring back maybe 3 or 4 really good contacts. So obviously, if you're going soon, I would hope you've sorted your accommodation out and your travel, but budgeting is really important because costs can add up. It's quite a pricey part of the world, especially during the film festival, so you really do need to think about that budget. Set yourself some limits, know how you're going to get home at the end of the night if you're going to a party, plan those things in advance. And the age-old thing I say in all of my Cannes videos, and I've done this myself, is don't drink too much, because what will happen is you'll go to a party, you'll see the free alcohol that will cost you a fortune elsewhere, you'll take advantage of it, but you won't remember much about that evening, and you certainly won't make good contacts while you're drunk. And another thing you really do, unfortunately, need to prepare for is rejection, is get used to the fact that the majority of the people you speak to aren't really going to be interested. And it might be a little bit awkward at times, but if you can get yourself prepared for that rejection, then when it does happen, it's water off a duck's back and you can move on to the next person you're interested in chatting to. Remember, it's not just about networking with people who are going to help you make your film. You might be of use to other people, and also I've met some really good friends in Cannes. So these are people that they might not be useful for you right now, but they might be a friend or someone you can call on at a later date that you might be able to help in the meantime. Finally, if I was going to be super prepared, I'd probably prepare my follow-up emails before I leave. So I'd have my email with my digital press kit, I'd have it all set up. I can even send them while I'm there if I want. You know, I've had the meeting the next day, I can just get my template ready with my press kit on it, send it so that person's immediately got all that information and they won't forget you. Cannes really rewards preparation. So if you've prepared before you go, you know your pitch, you've got meetings booked, you've done your research, you're looking for parties, you're looking for networking opportunities, and you're looking for the right people, looking to talk to the right people about your project, then you're going to have a much more successful trip. I hope all of that was useful. Please share your tips in the comments below, because I don't think as filmmakers we do that enough. And if you do meet filmmakers who you like, share your parties with them as well. It's a great way to meet friends for life, is if you share those parties with each other, it just widens the amount of people you can speak to and it really widens your network. Have a great time in Cannes. Let me know how you get on. Happy hunting. I hope it goes really well for you. See you on the next one.